On a somewhat dull and damp morning, we leave our hotel to set off on a new cycling route, discovering the liberation of Nazi-occupied Holland in the year 1944. Starting at the garrison town of Leopoldsburg in Belgium, we ride past the famous cinema location where British General Brian Horrocks gave orders to his ground forces. The old Cinema Splendid burnt down in 1979, with the only reminder of this historic site being a plaque on the apartment building that replaced it. Under the flight path of military helicopters. At the train station, a Sherman tank stands guard as a permanent reminder of the sacrifice of Europe. I'm about to discover the historical liberation route nicknamed Hell's Highway. On the 18th of September 1944, Eindhoven became the first Dutch city to be liberated by the Americans. The 101st Airborne Division, Screaming Eagles. Next year, in September 2024, it will be the 80th anniversary of Operation Market Garden, and in order to commemorate that anniversary, the Liberation Route Foundation is developing a long-distance cycle ride starting at Leopoldsburg and then routing north over the significant rivers towards Arnhem. Bart and the foundation have devised this route in order to follow historical transit of the Allied forces, but also will take in a number of points of interest. So over the course of the next few days, I'm going to be following Hell's Highway with Bart and Walt, which I am very much looking forward to. Tomorrow then we're setting off on this Hell's Highway, but it's part of Liberation Route. What's that about?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So it's part of the Liberation Route trails. We have developed several hiking trails, but now we're developing the Liberation Route Operation Market Garden cycling trail. So all the way from Leopoldsburg via different points of interest to Arnhem to show the cyclists different POIs along the way to inform them about what happened during this operation.
And what's the total length?
It's about 240 k's in total.
So my history with this theme, how I became fascinated by it, was more that I grew up in the region around Eindhoven, and on days that I was a little bit bored, I would go out cycling. So this was a 14, 15-year-old guy, and this whole route, or this whole area, is completely littered with monuments and points of interest, because this is exactly the epicenter through which the 30th Corps came with their army. So there's a lot to see, and I, as a young kid, I became fascinated about it, and soon started digging into its history. And I've been riding the Market Garden route on September 17th for many years already, as a kind of a tribute or a thing. Developed different ways of riding it, because it wasn't always in a straight line. And together with Wout and Liberation Route Europe, we now designed a route that is a little bit longer, covers more points of interest, but can also be done in numerous different stages.
We're probably gonna split it into 5 different segments. So you'll have a daily route of 50 k's, so it's easily accessible for people biking. If you're really fast, you can maybe do it all at once. But 240 might be a bit too much, so you can choose to have one part of 50 k's or to combine two to have 100. So you can easily adapt it yourself.
And as we're going to go along the route tomorrow, we're going to use this app. And how's the app going to help us or assist us?
So the app shows you where you are, and it shows also the different points of interest along the way. As you zoom in on the map, you will find the now existing hiking trails, and soon you will find the cycling trails there too. So when you click on the icon, it provides you with information in at least 3 different languages. This is about the German war cemetery in Lommel, so it has this one has 5 different languages. It shows you the exact location, and it shows you the media, the pictures. Sometimes it also shows you a historical picture or audio stories, dependent on the point of interest that you're gonna visit.
So right now Leopoldsburg would be somewhere down here on the map, and tomorrow we're gonna basically ride in a northern direction towards Joe's Bridge, which is actually the bridgehead where Market Garden really started, through the city, town of Valkenswaard, Eindhoven, Zon, and already there's a lot of stories to be told around here. Some of the landing places, or some of the landing spots, where landing zones as they called it, where the gliders and the para regiments dropped. And then we'll go all the way just short of Graven, where we'll spend the night. And then after that we'll cross the John S. Thompson Bridge over to Nijmegen. And instead of going straight to Arnhem, we will take a little bit of a detour to the west and come in through Oosterbeek into Arnhem.
Excellent. So, and then we end up finishing at Arnhem at the end of day 2.
At the bridge. Just know that the straight line would be roughly about 112 kilometers.
Yeah.
If you do it in a straight line, it's about 130 by bicycle.
Yeah.
But if you really want to get,
we're gonna
meander a little bit just to get the points of interest in.
Great.
So that's why it's been expanded a little bit
looking
more.
forward to it.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks.
Having found our hotel, after the route briefing, it was off to the Liberation Garden Museum to find out more.
My name is Bart Verhulst. I was fascinated from a very young age about the Operation Market Garden, and specifically the club route, or Highway 69, or Hell's Highway as it's also known. And over the last years I've dedicated a lot of my free time in exploring the different routes, the different points of interest, and I've launched a website called marketgarden.cc, which has numerous versions of the route for people to cycle and basically ride through history.
My name is Wout van Aalst, and I'm working for the LRE Foundation.
Wow, that's an incredible building. What is that?
It is called the Chinese Pavilion.
Yeah.
Pavilion, and it used to be an officer's house.
The old officers' quarters. Right.
And on the left is the newly built museum.
Yeah. When did they build that?
It only opened a week ago, so it was built, I think, since last year. It took quite some time, over a year to build it, and now it only opened for 1 week. So.
Okay, so it's only been open a week. We're very privileged to be coming here.
Exactly.
Yeah. Excellent. Very good.
And on the black wall, you can see the round-shaped monument.
Right.
It's called a vector of memory, and it's one of the vectors of designed by Daniel Liebeskind, and it's from the LRE Foundation, the foundation I'm working for.
Yeah.
And it is to mark specific places and points of interest on the Liberation route.
So we're going to keep our eyes open for that sign.
Exactly. Yeah. Very looking forward to go inside.
This building, it's a historical building. It's about the second part of the 20th century. Inside it's the occupation and liberation of the Second World War. We start at 1940 till 1945.
From roughly 1830, Leopoldsburg, as Camp Beverlo was once known, so the regiment city, until running up to the Second World War.
The Liberation Garden Museum exhibits a wide collection of militaria, medals, uniforms and documents, but in this museum they also tell the story of 8 individuals, real people who experienced the war from all aspects and different sides. With interactive touch points, their stories come alive.
Nur noch kurz eine Zigarette. Ich bin Otto. Seit ein paar Monaten bin ich jetzt hier. Wow. Siehst du diese riesigen Glieder der 12. SS-Panzerdivision ausgebildet? Wirklich gefordert. In der letzten Zeit sind sogar Kameraden.
Look at that.
Hey, give me 5, man.
Bloody Germans. Can we really take that bridge by surprise? These last days, it's the Jerrys who've been surprising us.
Marlene explained the incredible story of Renée Dardenne, a young girl who helped her father in the resistance movement. He was caught and she thought him executed by firing squad.
She's now 101, she still lives.
Wow. Oh, wow.
That's her story.
She retrieved the bullet from the killing post, believing that she had found the bullet that had killed her father.
So this is the bullet that Mrs. Dardenne took out of the execution pole, thinking it might have been the bullet that killed her father. In fact, her father was deported to one of the camps, and while on the train, as many people did, they wrote a last message and just simply threw the letter out of the train. And miraculously, years later, I think, this letter was thrown onto her front door mat by somebody who she still doesn't know who it was, and the letter is actually there.
Incredibly, her father was not shot, but taken away to a camp in Germany.
So the actual 30th Corps was also supported by two armies on the side that would do the flanks. So if you look at the whole idea of Market Garden, obviously the club route goes straight up, but a lot of things happened on the flanks as well that are also essentially part of the whole Market Garden campaign. So when you look at designing a cycling route, you really have a broad area where you can get the points of interest from.
Yes. Walking through the battlefield. This is now an opportunity to have a virtual reality experience.
I see Spitfire.
So what's happening in their bar?
Oh, I see 3 Spitfires around me.
Yeah.
I'm in a hangar and I'm at airfield B90. I'm actually flying in a plane.
As a pilot, I've got to tell him, put your hands on the controls.
It is right here. I got it. Oh my God, I'm going into enemy territory. Hey Wout, are you in that plane? You cannot believe
What an
it.
experience. I just want to say, I've got to wipe this tear out of my eye.
Because of the wind.
That was the wind, exactly. That was an incredible experience. This is a virtual reality headset here, and I just took a mission in a Spitfire over enemy territory. Amazing experience. Definite if you come into this museum. So now we're going to go through to the briefing.
The museum pays homage to Cinema Splendid, the location where the orders were given, with an animated recreation of the famous briefing.
Standing to attention.
Welcome to Leopoldsburg. Gentlemen, this is a story that you will tell your grandchildren, and mightily bored they'll be. This is Operation Market Garden, a combined air and ground operation. Operation Market, the airborne element, will take off first. Tomorrow morning, paratroopers will jump near the bridges over the large waterways in Holland, in Eindhoven, Nijmegen, and at Arnhem on the Rhine. Our airborne troops are tasked with capturing these bridges within hours of their drop. It's our job to make contact with them overland as soon as possible. Our part of the campaign, Operation Garden, begins tomorrow, early afternoon. Our tanks have to force a quick breakthrough from this bridgehead here at Leopoldsburg, near the Belgian-Dutch border. This is a massive operation. The vital factor, gentlemen, is speed. Gentlemen, we must succeed. Let's end this war before Christmas.
Wow, that's incredible. After the First World War, once the modern Olympics started again, it was in Antwerp, and the cycling event was held here at Leopoldsburg, which is a beautiful link to a cycling history. Oh my God, you just shot the cyclist.
Headshot.
So what's the story behind Leopoldsburg? It was a military kind of garrison town, and it had how many pubs?
400.
400 pubs.
At the top, yeah.
More pubs than there are days in the year. Wow, look at that. What is that? That's a beer called Splendid. Incredible.
Yeah.
Named after the cinema.
Named after the cinema. And mighty bored you will be.
Mighty drunk you will be.
Okay, this is a Splendid beer. It's exclusively brewed for this museum. You can't buy it anywhere else except in this museum. It's very good beer.
Wonderful.
A little bit strong, but very good.
We need it as cyclists. We need it to be strong. Oh, what an incredible experience. So, for information purposes, it's going to take you about 3 hours to take in the full immersive experience of this museum, and it is highly, highly recommended. You're going to understand the concept behind Market Garden, the occupation and liberation of Holland. It's going to tell the full story and set the picture ready for your ride. And so we recommend that you would get some local accommodation, come here maybe in the evening, experience the museum, and then you'll be ready for your ride the very next morning. The museum has only been opened a week, and we were granted special permission to go inside and film, so our thanks to the Liberation Garden.
So there you have it, folks, the history behind Operation Market Garden. And now we were ready to ride Hell's Highway. See you in the next video.